Red, good to see you, man.
Hey, good morning, Keith. How are you today?
Always good when I lay eyes on you, man. Always good.
Oh, thank you so much. It's likewise, we get to see each other like once a week, and it's like going to church. I
It
get to
is,
see
man.
you
Yeah,
and
man. Thank
think
you for
about
making
great things.
time. Thank you
What's
for
that?
making time because when we can fellowship like this, man,
Yeah,
it's a
true.
gift, man. And you, as you know, I rushed through life so much when we first met that I didn't celebrate these gifts, and they're just they're abound. They're everywhere, you know. So I thought we'd do a podcast, and this one is going to be titled "Make Perceived Obstacles Cone Drills." Yeah, that's just, it'll come.
First, you have to tell everybody what a cone drill is. So
Yeah, yeah.
they're,
So
they're brutal.
yeah, they are brutal, man, but they make you better.
Yeah, they
So,
make you better.
Rick is an athlete. He played a lot of sports. In school, I played a lot of sports in school, and with a lot of sports, almost any of them that require agility, quickness, running, sprint work, speed work, there are cones involved. And the cones, you go around the cones, you touch the cones, shift directions, pivot, all those things are part of the drills. And so my thinking with this podcast was it's a metaphor for life, especially for me with the practice. And what it means is that whatever shows up, I'm just practicing. So something's not to my liking, I'm just practicing and not to make it a big deal, which is one of the podcasts that we had. And everything that comes up as a cone drill, I touch it, and then I just kind of invoke kindness or acceptance, or
Mm,
as,
wow.
as I pause for a second to shift directions, I'm sprinkling kindness over here. Shift the other direction, I'm accepting. Shift again, holding space and grace for other people and myself. So that's what it means to me, man. Just at all times when life shows up, just really treating everything, as practice. What about you, Rick?
Yeah, I love that idea of agility, the idea of being on your feet and being flexible. I think we've talked about this before, but the difference between folks who seem to have a better sense of adaptation and those who don't turns a lot on how willingness you are to bend and how willingness you are to uh, pivot, as you say, and not be stuck in a certain attitude or certain reflex mood or a reflexive thought or something that you always do that keeps you down in that trench. I guess for me, I I sort of think that myself and whatever obstacle I'm dealing with are sort of the same thing. In other words, we're like two limbs of the same tree. We're drifting down the same river. We're bumping into each other as we go. Sometimes we're blocking one another as well. But the thing that I keep coming back to is the idea that the more you force, the more you try to manipulate an obstacle, that obstacle will give the resistance that you're giving it back to you in full force. So my experience has been that if I can relax into the obstacle, lean into it, or even better yet, just step aside and just not bypass it, not deal with it as an obstacle. But we're always going to have that other branch of the same tree, us and the obstacle. And we have to adapt to that, and we have to understand that pushing is probably not going to solve it.
Yeah, I completely agree, Rick. I love that analogy of being flowing down the river and the two branches on the same body. I
Yeah,
absolutely love that.
thanks.
And there have been so many things that are great pivot points, and a positive, even more positive, more loving direction. And like, take for example, what's top of mind right now is the pandemic. And people, I know some people that are, I guess, frustrated, and they are suffering because of the uncertainty. that's what life is. It's uncertain. It's uncertain, man. And we sometimes have this illusion that everything is known and is certain, but it's not. So mask on. Okay, that's a cone drill. Let me pivot. Put my mask on. Accept and I'm going to start with acceptance. And they say something else about mask. Okay, I'll pivot again at the next cone drill. And okay, mask are off. But nothing's a big deal, man. Just practicing acceptance. A conversation like the social justice. Oh, there's an opportunity to be more inclusive, to really create equity for everybody. Oh, another great pivot point. Let me pivot again. Let me not, resist that. Just all of that, man, is just an opportunity to just say yes. And it's in keeping with, those higher principles that we are, really mindful of being aligned with. And that's just being unconditionally loving and compassionate, empathetic. And I just cannot say enough about like how you treated me that way from day one, man. And along the way, you would see me come against a cone drill, like, why is he not pivoting? why is he slamming right through the cone? That's a pivot point. And you would be like, and you come out, I knock the cone down, you set it back up straight again. I'll take another go at it. And
you're giving me too much credit, buddy.
No, man. No, and you didn't do it. You did not do it with your voice or with any kind of admonishment. You just did it with just being a really good example for me and just continue to be patient. And I just can't say enough about, the friends in my life like you that have extended that kind of, loving hand to me. It's just been wonderful. And with the practice, man, I'm pivoting around more cones than I'm knocking down these days, and that's a gift.
That is a gift. And Keith, don't you feel that the practice has helped you maintain some sort of a balance that maybe you didn't have before, and an acceptance of things that allows you to let things go and detach and feel more peaceful inside and not so anxious. So those are some of the benefits you've gotten, right?
Oh, 100%, 100%. A couple of like little things that I've gotten along the way regarding the benefits is this expansion of my capacity to serve. I mean, that's probably one of the biggest ones along the way, because when I think of service, it's just a really quick way to shut my ego down when it's complaining and talking about something not being fair. Mm-hmm. So, for example, I have this grand idea or plan that I want to do, or project that I want it to be accepted and implemented. And then someone, for whatever reason, and I'm sure the reasons are aligned with the bigger picture, they'll say no or not now. And my ego will be like, oh, what, and then I said, I look at the observer in me looks at my ego and is like, we're here to serve. And as soon as I say those words, I'm just a servant. I'm here to serve. Everything just quiets down, and I remember like what my purpose is. Mm-hmm. And you do that with your legal practice, man. You have dedicated yourself to helping people there that are in some difficulty who can't afford it. And you're just so generous, and as well as the classes that you taught at the college, and just trying to teach, people about a different way to, interact with law, as they continue on their path to become attorneys. It's just beautiful what you do, but the service thing just really keeps me out of ego, like all the time. And that's one of those things that I picked up along those cone drills, along with some of the other ones that we talked about several times, gratitude and acceptance and all of those. But the cone drills, man, is beautiful. And also what's interesting about it, if you're committed, that life sets up cone drills for you every day.
Yeah. And, here's the thing. If you look at them as sort of like challenges that you haven't quite worked out yet. The idea is that if a problem keeps showing up for you, like a relationship issue, let's say, or a financial issue, or a judgment issue, that just means that you haven't solved it yet. You haven't figured out a way to get past it without involving anxiety and fear and worry and difficulty. So I was going to say, back to your sports analogy with the drills, one of the great things about playing sports that I think we have as young men is that we get to experience pain, because it's hard. It's hard to get in shape. It's hard to play football or hockey and get your teeth bruised up or knocked out or whatever. I mean, there's the pain that comes with sports, but all of us in life, men and women, go through enormous numbers of challenges that are painful. But I have to say that since my practice, I've been able to seriously look back at all of the times when I've had major pain and realize that there has always been a bit of growth that's come from the pain. Always been some value that I've gotten from it, some lesson that I've learned, if I'm open to hearing it, if I'm open to experiencing it, even for something as traumatic as the death of my parents, that there was something that came from that, an appreciation that I didn't have before, a knowing about life's limitations that I didn't have before, an appreciation for their struggle as they were passing, that I didn't have before. Terribly painful, but also that pain gave me something important that I could build my life on. And so, getting back to the pivoting and the skill set that's required to go through a cone drill, it's the skill set that's required to pivot when you have obstacles and realize that the pain isn't going to kill you. It's going to bring something to you if you're open to what the lesson is. It's hard, especially when the pain is ongoing and it doesn't seem to stop. But if we fear the pain, that creates that double arrow idea, the idea that the stimulus that's causing the pain in the first place is terrible, but then you rethinking it and not dealing with it is the second arrow that is also probably as painful or more so.
I totally agree, Rick. Yeah, man. So I think the message that I'm taking away from this is embrace the cone drills, because like
embrace the suck.
Yeah.
Embrace the suck, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that what the SEALs say?
Yeah, exactly. And when I've done that, man, it's been a really just the growth on the other side. Once you really get to the point to where that experience is comfortable before you go to the next level of increasing the intensity of the drills, it's pretty sweet, man. That feeling of not accomplishment because there's not somewhere to get to, and you're not focused on outcome, but just that you expanded your capacity to be fit. And when I say fit, not so much physical fitness, but fitness with being present, with being conscious, like that, and to be able to hold that kind of awareness, so that when there is action to take, like a game to play, the actual game, that you're up for it, and you're able to experience it fully with, as you said, without fear, without anxiety, and you're able to really experience the joy of the moment. And I love like being in that space, man. And what I'm finding is with my practice that I'm able to sustain that level of awareness, so I can experience that for extended periods of time.
Yeah, so well said, Keith. That's right. I think that all of that, what you just said, that whole idea of the practice and developing this attitude and this sense of inner peace, all of the things we talk about, that gives you a rooted sense, a sense that you're whole, a sense that there's equanimity, that you're balanced and you're psychologically and emotionally prepared for whatever happens, and whatever happens doesn't much matter because you know how to deal with it.
Exactly, man. Thank you so much, Rick, for a great show, man. I love you, man.
I love you, Keith. I hope to see you come back from New York one of these days.
I know, man. It's nice here.
No fires, that's kind of cool.
That's way cool.
Except you guys had some really bad hurricane damage here.
Yeah, we did, man. We did, man. But you know what? We're going to persevere. We're going to push on.
That boy. That sounds great. All right, man. I'll check you later.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good.